In this video, I'm going to give you 2 steps to overcome fear of change. As a therapist, having worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients, I've realized that most people, they avoid change because they try to keep themselves safe. Safe from fear of rejection, safe from fear of disappointment, fear of abandonment, and fear of getting hurt. And therefore, the more they avoid change, they feel like they are safe. They feel like they are not going to be rejected, they are not going to fail, and they are not going to get hurt. However, in this world, we can't avoid change. Change is just part of life. We all have to go through a lot of changes in our lives to get where we are supposed to be. So what happens when we go through change? When we go through change, our brain has to activate the stress system. And it's the stress system that actually becomes so uncomfortable that people want to run away from it. But when the stress system is being activated in our brain has to work so hard to make sure we are safe, to make sure nothing bad is going to happen to us. So how does change activate the stress system in our brain? Let's say you plan to fly to a different country. Maybe you're taking a trip or you're going for your holiday, and then you reach to a hotel where you try to sleep, but you can't sleep at night because the bed that you're sleeping on is not the same bed that you're normally used to. The room environment that you are in is completely different from your own room environment. Therefore, the change that you are experiencing at that time is going to create a stress system, and it's this stress that is going to make you not able to sleep at all. And then in the morning, you'll wake up feeling so tired. So that is just a simple example of how any form of change can create a stress system in our brain. And therefore, our brain has to work so hard to make sure that actually we feel safe in that environment that we are not used to. Also, going through change, it can affect our body, how our body feels. For example, somebody who is going through a change, for example, they are trying to apply for a job and they are being called for an interview. Just the thought of attending the interview is going to create a lot of anxiety, a lot of worries. And therefore, you might see somebody biting their nails, or people drinking too much, or people smoking too much because they are trying to calm down their anxiety. And that shows that any form of change can create a lot of stress and anxiety in so many people. And therefore, they will try to cope. And sometimes the way they cope is not a healthy way. For example, soothing yourself by biting your nails is not a healthy way of managing that change or anxiety. Drinking too much alcohol, smoking too much is not going to help you to manage that change of stress. How do we heal from fear of change? Remember, each time you avoid change, you're sabotaging a lot of things around your life. You are sabotaging maybe your new career, your new relationships. You are sabotaging new opportunities in your life, and you're sabotaging also success. And therefore, each time you try to avoid, you are avoiding maybe something that is meant to be good for you. Maybe you're avoiding a career that is supposed to be taking you to the next level. Each time you avoid traveling because you don't want change, maybe you're avoiding opportunity of knowing new places, meeting new people. So fear of change actually can deny us a lot of opportunities, and therefore we might find ourselves actually just focusing on what is around us, and we are missing a lot on what is outside our environment. So step number 1 to overcome fear of change is self-awareness. So next time you find yourself having this fear of change, try to take a minute and try to identify what are some of the emotions that you're going through. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling upset? Are you angry? Do you feel resentfulness? What is that? What are you feeling when you go through changes? Also, try to identify what are some of the thinking pattern are you having. Do you feel like, or do you think that you're in danger? Do you think that actually you're not going to be successful if you take that change? Do you think that something bad is going to happen? You're going to be rejected? You're going to be abandoned? Try to identify some of the thinking process you go through when you are being presented by a change. Try also to identify some of the behaviors that you feel like doing when you are faced by change. Do you feel like avoiding, running away from it? Do you feel like actually postponing or procrastinating about doing that change? What are some of the behavior you feel like doing when you think about change, or when you are being presented by a change? Having identified some of the emotions that you'll be experiencing when you're going through change, you can start challenging yourself. So remember, emotions are just the reaction of either the way we are thinking or what we are doing. So maybe you can start challenging yourself by asking yourself, what are you thinking about this change that is making you anxious? What are you thinking about this change that is making you afraid, making you want to run away or to avoid it? And it's the thought that is behind your emotions that you can start challenging. And you can start challenging your thoughts by asking yourself, what evidence do I have that what I'm thinking is true? And what evidence is against what I'm thinking? And this way of finding evidence for and against can really help you to start balancing your way of thinking about change. Step number 2, try to prepare yourself in advance. For example, if you're moving to a new country, try to imagine you're already there. Ask yourself, when you find yourself in this new country or new city, what are you going to do when you feel lonely? Who are you going to call? What activities can you get involved, or can you start getting involved to create new relationships? What are some of your hobbies you can get involved into in that new city or new country? And also remember, it's okay to talk to somebody when you're afraid. It's okay to call a friend or a family member when you feel scared. You talk to somebody that can really understand your situation, somebody that is there to listen to you, not to judge you, or not to try to fix things for you. So the more actually you prepare yourself in advance, you start feeling empowered to be able to move to a new country or a new city, because you have a plan that if you feel this way, this is what you're going to do. If you find yourself lonely, these are the things that you're going to do. So you've already have your plan in place, and this can really empower you not to be afraid of change. Lastly, it is more effective if you know the root cause of your fear of change. I'm sure that this fear of change that you have, it didn't start just yesterday or few weeks or few months or few years. Maybe it has been there for years and years. And therefore, if you want to learn more about the root cause of your fear of change, click the link below or leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.